This video is a follow-up to the one-shot showcase we did recently. Maple funded a video where he wanted me to use the one-shot sniper, and it was pretty not great. The scope made it very difficult to fight up close versus enemies that were right in your face, and the fire rate left a lot to be desired. The damage is pretty decent, but I figured there is a base game weapon called the Dragonfly that sort of addresses those issues for a very similar damage of 111,000 to the head, as opposed to the 266,000 we were getting on the Dragonfly. It's okay, maybe not that similar, but it is having twice the mag size and triple the fire rate. So instead of a 0.72 fire rate, it's 2.25, which means we should be able to get triple the shots out. And I feel like that might make up for it. And it will be very good at distributing damage via affliction, where if you can hit one target, affliction can do the damage while you move on to other enemies. And that could help with crowd clearing, which snipers generally suffer with. I don't believe this has the pierce of the one shot, but it's close enough that I want to give it a try. Same exact loadout as before. If you've seen my best bow loadouts video, you know everything you would need in a loadout for a sniper. Just don't use Stoneheart Farah because it's not a bow. It won't affect anything extra. So that video will be linked down below if you guys want an in-depth explanation. But if you've also seen the one-shot video, then you know everything about this loadout is just making our sniper stronger. So let's hop in game and see if the Dragonfly might actually be better than I ever thought. All right, while farming some wafers, the Taker decided to be our first target. So definitely some bad damage. If you're not critting, you're basically doing nothing. And that is one of the other drawbacks of this weapon, is without a scope, it does have less accuracy. There is also a lower upgraded version of the one-shot that has no scope, but it's capped to blue rarity, so I'm not really sure what the damage is going to be there. Let's see a live test here. Does it have any pierce? It absolutely does not. Okay, that is a big drawback. Can it at least kill a nurse? Can it at least kill a nurse? It is struggling. Okay, no, it barely can. Wukong is going a ways here by allowing me to get some, at least some group damage. You know, the explosion should do something, but so little damage that it didn't even kill a basic target. That moment right there is going to severely impact whether or not I use Wukong in future builds. All right, we got a couple of more mist monsters lined up. Let's try it with wafers this time. If we're actually critting, it's pretty decent damage. Not too bad of a sit down as far as mist monsters go. And then we've got a zappy face right over here. Let's see. If you hit a headshot, it's decent. The accuracy, pretty bad. So we are trading that accuracy pretty heavily. That means that all combat pretty much needs to be close range, but I mean, it works. It is killing in one shot, and when you can follow up almost immediately. Okay, maybe Wukong just had a bad moment on the slope there where it didn't affect properly, because those enemies definitely died very easily. Maybe that's a big deal. I don't know. You can see the affliction, by the way, doing really decent residual damage, meaning you can usually get away with just shooting an enemy once. Like, even on a big target like him, you get one shot in and the affliction goes very, very far. If you're getting a couple of crits, you can see you pretty much only need to hit him once. But if the crowd is any more than just 2 or 3, you struggle greatly unless there's a propane cleaning up your mess. So I don't know. This weapon's honestly better than I ever thought. So far, I'm reasonably impressed, but this does still play like it is. It's a base game sniper that was never intended to be the top DPS weapon in the game, and it was balanced for, you know, 2017, 2018 standards. Nowadays, we have such amazing weapons that it's really hard to suggest this, but we'll keep trying. Seems like we're going for a more open design. As I showed in the last video, if you pre-place your ceiling, it makes it a lot easier to put tire traps in. This is just really, really good for basic damage. We use this in Frost Knight, and they left some open for me, I imagine, because I know that I wanted to get Battle Beat active. So yeah, placing these directionally, I think we can just get it going. So yeah, let's just get started. I couldn't find a 160 smasher, and I don't want to loop the entire map again. If we can get another smasher wave like we did in the Dragonfly video, or the one-shot video, that would be perfect. That is ideal. I believe 15 wafers should be plenty for that use case, and I want to target the mist monsters. These are the big boys that this weapon should be going after, and that was pretty good. Like, seriously speaking, that's not bad. I've seen a lot of weapons in this game, and that performed better than I thought. Even without totally rocking out active, I'm getting reasonably lucky with the crits. And maybe we can make a ramp for myself right here, because I want to target all the mist monsters. I want to see what this can do versus a large target when we're actually critting, and it's not bad at all. For a base game sniper that's so bad, I have never even tried it. Yes, much like the one shot, I have literally never given this weapon a chance. I don't even think I've used it in Ventures as like the one high level target weapon I have. I honestly think I've never touched it. And maybe I should. Honestly, if you're just getting started in Ventures and you need something for the higher level targets, this might work. Granted, I am using a very stacked loadout. I am with a very high level party. Everybody in this party is 130, 120, 140. We're giving this weapon everything. That's my point. It's not a weak showcase. This is not a base game sniper with bad perks and no loadout. Quite the opposite. But in the best case scenario, it's doing okay. Yeah, I thought I saw some Smasher health over here. Let's see what it does versus a Smasher. The one shot took 5 very slow shots to kill over 3.5 seconds. And oh man, the Dragonfly is not quite keeping up. I don't think I have the traps down to activate Battle Beat as often as I did earlier, but I also feel like that shouldn't matter too much. Maybe we can find a Smasher in a more open area over here, perhaps, where I can eat a wafer and get some kills. With everybody frozen, by the way, you can just tap, 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 tap. I always thought it was weird in this game. I still think it's weird to shoot any enemy with a sniper and not get the kill immediately. That always frustrates me. It makes my aim worse when I know that the enemy I'm looking at isn't instantly going to die. Let's see here. Headshots this time? I mean, that looked like 1 million damage, or was that 400,000? I feel like 400,000 would be a lot more in range. Again, optimal loadout with Rabbit Raider in the lead. We are critting significantly harder than we otherwise would be. There's a Smasher over there. Range shouldn't matter too much other than accuracy. In a perfect scenario like that, where he holds still and we can spam headshots and he's frozen, taking extra damage, and I have Totally Rockin' Out activated, it's not the worst thing ever. I feel like the one shot was abysmal, but if you wanted to have fun one day, if you're an endgame player who only uses the Xenon bow and you just want variety because you were screwing around and you were eating your cereal this morning and Beast made a video that was semi-interesting, you might want to actually level up the Dragonfly and give it a try. It is a sniper. It's like, honestly, more like an assault rifle, if anything. It's a weapon that actually has some decent crowd clearing and, well, not crowd clearing, but it actually has some decent damage output. And Wukong is actually back up in my... Okay, that is not who I was... Did you really just fully block my shot? And he knew it too. Wukong, I think, just had a bad moment on the slope where it glitched and did no damage. It does appear that he's doing reasonably helpful damage whenever there is a flat area with enemies around that can actually get affected by him. So maybe he'll do better in the second showing. I think 9 wafers should be plenty if I just save it for the Smashers. And versus the basic targets, it's easy. I mean, if you just aim for the head, they go down easy. Looks like there's maybe a lot of impact. That's probably the tire traps, though, realistically speaking. Yeah, versus the basic targets, it's not doing much. I know that the Xenon bow is so tempting. And honestly, even the one shot could have pierced a lot more effectively here and done a lot more damage. In today's day, with higher level enemies, stronger weapons in the game, justifying this weapon's existence is hard. It's really difficult to suggest ever using this seriously. If you're just screwing around and having a fun day, you can do it just fine. I mean, it is getting kills. You aren't useless versus the Smashers. That's important. When you're using a bad weapon, if you are looking at a Smasher, giving it everything you can, holding down the trigger, spamming the trigger, whatever the weapon may be, and you can't kill a Smasher, you are a liability to your team. But in this case, you can work, you can help, you can work on it, you can outperform a deatomizer, which is kind of an outdated weapon to be using nowadays. I'm not sure what the logic is there. Maybe he's just chilling, but you would need the one shot's damage. I feel like 250,000 to the head on this weapon, like the actual damage bonus from that wouldn't even be that overpowered, but you can see when I'm not critting, it's abysmal. It's so bad. It's so bad. Do I have another trap vulnerable mini boss? So like the recent video, I showcased how to handle these guys. Don't just put a bunch of broadsides in a box. Actually try to build traps that are going to be useful after the mini boss's death. Of course, he's up top right now, so I can't really do much. Let me see if I can actually kill this Smasher in a reasonable time. Am I a liability to my team? I don't know. He froze pretty quickly. Yeah, okay, that's not... You know... Actually, I thought broadsides shooting off into nothing would be in play here, but shooting against each other like this, not a bad example. I was going to show wall darts, but this right here is precisely what I mean, where I feel like these traps are going to continue to be useful in the mission after the mini-boss is dead, whereas making a whole box for it is a way to limit the flow of the enemies. So if you make that box, it'll kill the mini-boss very effectively with broadsides, but it'll close off the enemy's way to get to your base, and they'll either just smack through it, thus making the broadsides inside useless, shooting off into nothing, or they'll go around it and the traps will never be used again. So I feel like placing wall darts much similar to this. Now, this is actually a perfect example for some science I've been working on. If you have ever made sugarcane farms in Minecraft, you will know this technique right here, where if you have one square of stuff, then you have 4 spots in a row, and then you put them out like this, you can fertilize all of your sugarcane consistently. So like over here, I'd have wall darts like that. Then we'd have 4 in a row. Then we'd have wall darts over here. And then this guy's coming over here. So we would have the Knight's Move. So the next one would be out here. There we go. There we go. And then we would have another one out. Nope, that's the wrong spot. I screwed it up eventually. But the idea, if I can even illustrate it, is that you'd have Knight's Move. Yeah, so I think the next one of these should have been right there. The logic is that no matter where the enemy walks, they'll be getting hit with a wall dart somewhere. So in this instance, this was almost okay. And I think I messed it up somewhere. But I actually want to illustrate this because I think it's really interesting tech. Because if you do it like this, you've got the brick just like so, and then you can kind of lay it out like this. It's like a chess Knight's Move, you know, up to over 1. And then this is where you would put your box of wall darts. So if you place it like this, and then like that, and then like that, you can see that every brick covers all this space. And I can hear banging right now because my washer machine upstairs is very, very, very full of what I assume are coats. But if you build this out like so, you can have a very effective covering where you can put wall darts here and here and have every single place the enemy walks is being hit by at least 2 wall darts. And that's what I was trying to set up down here. It doesn't work in every scenario, but you can make a tunnel that isn't really a tunnel that perfectly covers an entirely flat space. So I don't know how a sniper showcase turned into a trapping tutorial, but I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if it's like better than a tunnel, but it's something you can try if you're ever defending a wide open area. And I was gonna say turn off your brain, but it's actually kind of tricky to get that set up consistently, but the enemies won't smash the walls in theory, and that's kind of something I was working on. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Honestly, if you watched a Dragonfly video and made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Either I did something right or your food's still hot and you're working on it. So yeah, thank you to Maple for funding the one-shot video that inspired this Dragonfly video. I don't think I'm gonna start using the weapon, but frankly, my impression of the weapon is up from D tier to maybe C or low B with a perfect loadout. If you really wanted to make it work, it can deal with a 250 power level smasher. Certainly not the fastest kill I've ever seen, but worthless piece of junk, I can't really call it that anymore. So I'm gonna count that as a win. Thank you guys again. Subscribe, like the video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good rest of your day. And then